we've got some football to talk about.
Bloody hell.
We've got some football to talk about. Finally.
Look at us.
Three
of
Oh,
us.
yeah, we're together.
In the same space.
Oh.
Never thought I'd see the day.
What a time to be alive. 3 people and there's football.
And there's football. Although you're more interested in playing The Sims.
I am more interested in playing The Sims.
You said before the show, can we have the 4 week longer pause of the WSL so I can play more Sims, please?
That's exactly what I said. Yeah. And do you know what? I will make you a promise then for next week.
Okay.
I will make Arsenal women in The Sims.
Perfect.
And I will come
I'm so on board.
That will be my homework.
I'm so on board.
And I will do my best to recreate. Although they all look quite alike, some of them.
Yeah.
I need full squad.
Full squad, but I think Leah,
template.
Beth, a few others,
Chloe Kelly.
my blonde ponytailed girls are all going to be the same sim.
More on that later, maybe?
Maybe. Anyway, right, international watch. There's been some football on, there's been some World Cup qualifiers, and as ever, Arsenal have been shining. So Russo, Williamson, and also Taylor Hines all started both games for England. So 2-0 against Iceland and 6-1 against Ukraine. Alessia Russo scored a brace in the 6-1 win over Ukraine. Lucy, how good does it feel to see Alessia Russo kind of just pick up where she left off when it comes to England? Scoring, and being happy.
Yeah, I think she's just such a target player for England,
Yes.
for Arsenal as well. But in an England shirt, she just always performs.
Yeah.
Since her first Euro, she's never really let us down.
Big time. I think watching the Lionesses, I mean, all England football, but particularly Lionesses for me, as you might not sound like it, a non-English person, I could just take a lot of joy in like basically just watching the Arsenal players.
Yeah.
And it's essentially like a kind of like scouting mission for me, how they're getting on. And it was so much fun watching Russo versus Ukraine. And it couldn't help me think like, we need to get her back in the number 9. Long term for Arsenal, we need to get her back as our number 9. I don't mind this season kind of with different challenges and different teams. You know, she might play as a 10 here or there. Like that's kind of the way the squad's at the moment, particularly with some of the injuries we've got. But into next season, when this kind of long fabled rebuild happens, Russo needs to be our striker for sure.
You're coming in hot there with that. Okay, fair enough. Now, you mentioned a scouting exercise.
Yeah.
Were you scouting Georgia Stanway?
Oh, big time. Big time. I was having so much fun
Were you
watching
thinking,
Georgia Stanway.
where is she going to slot in when she comes to Arsenal?
She was, and it's funny because we've all watched Georgia Stanway for a long time, right?
Yeah.
But I think because she's not been in the WSL, you kind of...
You don't see her that
You
much.
don't see
Out
her
of
that
sight,
much.
out of mind.
Yeah,
yeah.
No
exactly.
disrespect, Georgia, but we don't care about you when you're not playing in the WSL.
Exactly. Took the words out my mouth. But I mean, look, Iceland and Ukraine aren't the strongest opposition. We'll see what happens when England plays Spain. But she was excellent in both games, and I was fizzing with excitement about the hopeful possibility that she'll be at Arsenal next season.
Yeah, the volley was
It's a lovely finish.
a great finish.
Would you consider her our main target for the summer, Lucy?
Main target?
Yeah, that's what it sounds
probably.
like.
Yeah,
But it sounds like it's kind of done. Yeah.
Welcome to Arsenal, Georgia Stanway.
You heard it here first.
We had some other Arsenal players as well in action. So Lotte Wubben-Moy and Leah Williamson started against Ukraine together as England fielded an all Arsenal pairing at centre back. That's nice, isn't it?
Lovely.
We have a presence. Leah Williamson has only started one WSL match for Arsenal this season, but is still kind of regularly in contention with England. Do you think this kind of time playing, even against, with no disrespect to Ukraine or Iceland, getting some minutes under her belt, Lucy, it's been an on-off season, this will be helpful for her when it comes to the run-in that we're about to talk about?
Yeah, I feel like under Serena, she is just her captain, isn't she? So
Big
she's
time.
going to come back straight in, I think. And it was nice to see them being paired together. Lotte almost scoring like a ridiculous back heel
Outrageous.
out of
So
nowhere.
The audacity
Yeah.
to try as well. Why not? You know,
Yeah.
I think the player clearing off the line, it's like, come on. Just let it in. We all want to see that.
So I'm not surprised that she started. I was actually quite surprised to see that stat of one WSL match start this whole season, despite obviously her being injured and stuff. But yeah, I think that will only do her good to get her back up and running in the Arsenal team.
Big time. I think particularly with Steph Catley being away with Australia and then also their injury that she's picked up, like this all being well is going to be our centre-back pairing for the next few weeks, right? Lotte Wubben-Moy and Leah Williamson. And particularly that first leg against Chelsea, which if Australia gets to the final, which we think they will, Steph Catley won't be available for. Like, we need these two starting at the back for us. And I think ultimately they've played together a lot, right? They know how to play against each other. They don't need to learn that. But a bit of practice never hurts. And to see them together in England, it made me think, okay, this is nice. Games under the belt. And then they'll be hopefully both be ready to come back into the game after international break.
I do also think a centre-back pairing is something you just like build over time.
Definitely, yeah.
And like regardless or not whether you're teammates and you've played together sort of here and there, like getting a bit of sort of committed games is going to really, really help that partnership.
It's lovely for the Lionesses to give our players
thanks,
training.
guys.
I was going to say, are we
informed,
using
Stanway
the
goals.
Lionesses? Like, is this the right way round?
Serena, if you could just do us a favour.
You know, the Lionesses are Arsenal fans. I think.
Oh,
we can say
yeah,
that.
100%.
Is that fair?
So, yeah.
That's
They all
fair.
want to play for Arsenal, let's be honest.
Everyone wants to play for Arsenal. Chloe Kelly wants to play for Arsenal, plays for Arsenal, came off the bench against Iceland. Now, Barbie have released a Chloe Kelly doll for International Women's Day. So March the 8th, International Women's Day. And I've had a look at it as someone who used to play with Barbies. Lucy, I don't know whether you were a Barbie.
Wasn't really a Barbie
Not a
girl.
Barbie girl. No,
Surprise,
Rory?
surprise.
No, I wasn't an action man either. I got one for my birthday once, never opened it.
Never. Wow. No. Okay. Okay. Well, I'm gonna have to carry this conversation then as a Barbie enthusiast.
Yeah,
I absolutely love this on so many levels.
Great.
Okay, great.
Mainly because, and I've been out of the Barbie game for quite a while now. I will
More
say
Sims
that
for you these
a bit
days,
more Sims
yeah.
for me. I am 34, so
That's fine.
I'm not someone who plays with Barbies anymore.
Yeah.
But I did when I was younger. And I know we're way past this, but my memories of Barbies is that they were, you'd have supermodel Barbie,
Yes.
mermaid Barbie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I was too young for the bit where they go, women might do other things.
Got you, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They might even look different.
Yes.
They might have different skin tones,
Yes.
etc. So as much as I loved Barbie, I was crying out for a ginger Barbie,
Yes.
Yeah.
a sporty Barbie.
Yes.
A sporty Barbie. So the doll was made in honour of Kelly being Barbie's role model of the year, which I really like.
That is nice. Yeah.
Now, I can't find out whether I'm allowed to buy it or not.
I looked. I don't think you can.
Right, what we
What's
doing?
the-
What's
I
the
know.
point?
What's
What are we
the
doing?
point?
I know. Bit performative. I want one on the shelf next to Gunnosaurus.
Yeah.
That'd be lovely.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
So it's basically just an AI job.
you said the
Basically, yeah, like a 3D printer and that's it.
Yeah. I mean, if Chloe Kelly hadn't held the Barbie, there could have been conspiracy theories that it didn't actually exist.
Well,
You could still say, doesn't it?
It's true.
if we were going to have another one, who would you want next as a Barbie doll?
Well, you said you would
From
like
the Arsenal
a
squad.
Yes.
Yeah, you
yes.
said you would like a red-headed Barbie.
Yes.
So a Katie Reid. That'd
yeah,
be great.
Yeah, absolutely. Lucy, who would you like?
Michelle.
Yeah, I thought the same.
Yeah.
Off the back of the last Euros as well.
Yeah.
I could do with the Serena Wiegman one.
Oh,
Can you imagine?
It would be so
You
like
get little glasses,
yeah.
Yeah.
ponytail,
Yeah.
puff
What
jacket.
would be like her things on the side? Like a notebook?
Oh yeah, a notebook. I think the glass is key.
A trophy?
Yeah, obviously.
2.
Obviously.
Is it Dave that she loves? No, it's not Dave. Who's
Burner Boy.
Burner
Burner
Boy.
Boy.
It could be Serena Wiegman and Burner Boy together.
Yeah.
That would be lovely.
What a setup.
What I said. Well, I mean that's a lovely touch. But if anyone from the makers of Barbie is listening,
Yeah.
I've got 50 quid. I'm willing to buy it.
I'll put in 50 quid as well. 100 quid is
we
your final
crowdfund
offer.
this. I agree. I think it would look lovely next to Gunnosaurus. I think it would look lovely on the shelf behind us here.
Yeah.
I think
You need to get Win the dog toy up there as well. that you have.
Was that the last sighting of Win? Was our toy on our shelf?
Basically, yes. Another good thing as well is that everyone from England certainly comes back uninjured. And
Yes.
I don't think that is to be sniffed at,
No, not at
considering
all.
you know where we've been with injuries this season. Rory, you mentioned already Australia.
Yeah.
So Steph Catley, continuing our international games watch, came off in Australia's 3-3 draw with South Korea due to concussion protocols, which we seem to be.
Yeah,
There seem to
a
be
lot
quite a few of these at the
yeah.
moment. Let's just hope that it is kind of cautiousness and nothing more. But it does mean that the Matildas have made it through to the quarterfinals of the Asia Cup, but not top of their group, meaning path to the final not quite as easy as it could have been.
That is my understanding. I don't know how I feel about this. Part of me is like, well, they draw a good team in the quarterfinals and lose. They come back
I was thinking,
sooner.
oh no, we'll have more players back for Chelsea. Oh
that
dear.
also means that Sam Kerr will be back for Chelsea. So,
Oh, yeah.
but I also don't want them coming back like really depressed because they've lost and then maybe sulking for a few weeks. You know what I mean? So,
Do players do that, Lucy? Do you reckon?
Come back depressed from the Asia Cup.
Yeah. Is that a possibility?
Maybe not depressed. But I guess I feel like the question more is like, would you rather Sam Kerr be there or not?
Yeah. Well, now Williamson and Moya centre half pairing for England, maybe we could do without Catley, but Chelsea, Ramirez isn't back up and running again after injury, could do with Sam Kerr. So there could be something in that.
Who knows?
I say stay out there for a bit.
Yeah. So out there, as we said, we as Arsenal are using this international break to
our advantage.
Yeah, our advantage. So,
and on the flip side, Steph can come back happy.
Yes.
Because she's won something.
And concussion free. Ultimately, actually, let her recover at home.
Yeah, absolutely. In home comforts.
Exactly.
Around people exactly. Now, elsewhere, Katie McCabe scored in both games, but Ireland suffered a heartbreaking but credible 2-1 loss to both France and the Netherlands. Fair enough. She's going out with a bang.
I felt sorry for McCabe in this.
Yeah? Why is that?
You've scored big goals against big teams, and ultimately you've lost both of them. It was a shame. It is a shame.
It's a big arse, though.
No, it is. Yeah, 100%. It's a tough group, that, for Ireland.
Yeah, really tough. Really tough.
Enjoyed seeing McCabe and pull over together.
That's nice. Do we think, is this perfect, actually? Scores 2 goals. Happy, coming home.
Yeah, no, I like it.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is the outcome that we want, surely.
Okay. Yeah, I like the way your brain's working there for sure.
Exactly. And then elsewhere, Emily Fox helped the US win the She Believes Cup.
Happy.
So great.
On the happy scale, we are up there.
Absolutely. Not before though taking out her former Arsenal teammate Chloe Lacasse in their win over Canada. Friendly fire.
Did you see this?
I didn't actually see
it. Was
I'm going to watch it.
Savage. You'd never think they played together before. It was quite nice.
This is what we don't want.
No. It does happen.
Well, I get is this why Chloe Lacasse left Arsenal ultimately?
I mean, she gives her a bit of a...
Was there some beef there? Some USA-Canada sort of long-standing...
it was just a little shoulder barge.
See, you've said that's a little shoulder barge, and I was about to say that was a pretty savage shove off the ball. So I think that speaks to more about, Lucy, your physicality as a player versus mine.
Yeah, and then she gave her a hand up.
Yeah, I think it was one of those...
come on.
And Lacasse looked pretty disgruntled as she did it. It was one of those ones where it's like, you see what she's trying to do. I was just surprised by the force that she did it with.
Yeah. Well, exactly. And I am a bit of a... I've admitted to playing The Sims and that I like Barbies.
You should have seen the look that Lucy just gave me. If you're watching on YouTube, we'll cut to Lucy's face.
Lucy, is that something that you do on the pitch? Is that what you're telling us?
Shoulder barge?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
It's part of the game.
It's part of the game.
It's part of the game.
It did make me miss Chloe Lacasse, though. She, I thought, for the short time she was at Arsenal, was great.
Yeah.
And I think would add something to the team now. I know she's gone back to North America because she's playing at Utah. But yeah, I would like to have seen her stick around a little bit longer.
Well, that's what she gets for not.
Well, exactly. Exactly. Too right. I'm on board.
You're on board. So I mean, in summary, I think a really good outing and a good, successful international break in both senses.
Yeah.
That we've got players coming back, having scored important goals, but coming home early, potentially.
Yeah.
No injuries, no beef. You can't ask for much more.
Perfect. Job's done. Georgia Stanway looks like the best player in the world.
Job's a good one.
Job's a good one.
Now come back, Chelsea.
Well, after the break, we will be talking about the return of the WSL, the big month ahead, and of course, London City Lionesses versus Arsenal coming up this Sunday. Welcome back to the thing about Arsenal. So, a very, very big month ahead.
Yes.
So this weekend coming up is the start of the next block of fixtures.
What do you think of this name, Block?
Don't love it.
No.
It reminds me of school timetable.
Yeah.
Oh,
Block
right.
of lessons.
A block.
Yeah.
We call them periods at school, but I'm getting on board, yeah.
I bet you did. Did you go to a private school?
Outed.
No, as in game recognises game,
Right.
so did I. Block of fixtures, as Renee Slagers likes to call them.
Yeah.
So we've got our Champions League quarterfinals against Chelsea.
Yeah.
Then we've got that team from down the road in the North London derby, and then Brighton in the FA Cup quarterfinals. Quick one on our North London derby being played at the Emirates. Arsenal have said 40,000 tickets sold already. That's kind of standard now.
Yeah.
I know when we announced this and Arsenal announced it, it's to be celebrated, but that's kind of the minimum I expect for
It is.
at that size.
But I also think we should just pause and be like, we're sick.
Yeah. Yes.
But yeah,
correct.
we should be selling.
I agree.
And given that the return leg, and I think it was the logistics. I think because there was a boxing match on the same day.
Don't make excuses for them, Rory.
They played theirs at Brisbane Road in front of like 7,000 or 8,000, and a lot of those were Arsenal fans as well. So there's definitely a kind of we're better than you.
You're right though, Lucy. Yeah, let's not forget. As much as I said, it's been normalised to me, and seeing a full Emirates, full games of this size, very, very normal now. Yeah. It wasn't until very recently.
100%.
So big up.
And also, it's actually quite early.
To have sold that many tickets.
Normally it's like true. The week before you hit 40,000 and you. Yeah. This makes me think we could get quite close to a sellout given that we've hit 40,000 already. And actually this is interesting. This is part of a really interesting week for Arsenal. So in 1 week, Arsenal women play 3 games at the Emirates. They're playing West Ham, they're playing Chelsea in the home Champions League leg, and then they're playing Tottenham that weekend. Obviously, all before they then play Chelsea at Stamford Bridge afterwards. And I think, like, as you say, sometimes you do need to stop and look at how far we've come. Like, can you imagine even 3-4 years ago, a time when Arsenal women would play 3 games at the Emirates in the same week, all of which will be in front of good-sized crowds? It is cool.
Yeah.
And I'm actually, I'm really excited for it as a fan, like to have all these games in a row that are all big and for different reasons. It's going to be really cool to be a part of.
Literally not that long ago, it was like 1 a season.
Yeah, 100%.
Which is mental.
I think as well, the interesting thing about this run of fixtures, as you say, we've got North London Derby, but then we also have West Ham. No disrespect to West Ham, smaller side.
Yeah.
We had Sam Hanlon from the Arsenal Women's Supporters Club on a couple of weeks ago, and there were a lot of people who messaged who wanted to ask about how do we get a big crowd for the smaller games as well, which I think is a very interesting. That's the next step. Yeah. It's like it's all fun and games for Chelsea, for Man City, for Spurs, but it's the next kind of West Ham, London City Lionesses, who we're going to talk about in a minute. How do we get that same kind of crowd? Can't wait to hear what people think about the pitch. The professional gardeners amongst us. If you have some thoughts on what the women are doing to the grass.
Those 2 games they played in the space of 6 weeks, outrageous.
And nothing to do with the rain. Nothing to do with it. It's not rained. It's not stopped raining this year for ages.
I want to develop that, like you're saying though, because I find it interesting because it is noticeable. You go to some of the WSL games at home against without being rude, the less fashionable teams in the league. And it does feel the stadium's not quite as full. It's not quite the same atmosphere. But then you got to stop and check, and you still think, actually, no, there's still 30 to 35,000 people in the stadium. And I think Arsenal are almost, I know we joked before about how good it would be if Arsenal could play at Highbury still, but like, we are also a victim of how big the club is and how big the stadium is. And having a 60,000 seater stadium means that you can have 35,000 people and it's still basically half full. And actually, if you took that many people and moved it to majority of stadiums around the country, you'd have a sold out ground with a really good atmosphere. And I think like, I mean, I don't think this debate has ever really happened, but there's been a time in my head where it's like, if we were playing more games at a smaller stadium, more games at Boreham Wood Stay for the atmosphere, and I know that Sam talks a bit about the atmosphere at Boreham Wood versus the atmosphere at the Emirates, would that be good in a way because Arsenal would have an electric atmosphere every week? But also, you can't, and I don't think anyone is trying to say this, but I think it's worth, I guess, repeating, you can't underestimate how massive a thing it is to have 30-odd thousand people every single week watch Arsenal. It is incredible, and I think that, this block now that we're about to see and the games we're going to have at home is just a really exciting extension of this journey that we're going on. Yeah,
it's a really hard transition because if the ultimate goal is to move them to the same stadium as the men's, what's that interim bit look like? And for us, this is what it looks like. It means half sold out. It sounds rubbish. Emirates Stadium, but in actual fact, amazing 30,000 people. Or it's a much smaller stadium, but because we have, I guess because we didn't shift from Boreham Wood and then to the Emirates, it's just a period of time where the club kind of have to work it out and try and navigate that and bring that atmosphere over while they try and grow the fan base. But it is going to take a minute.
And there's definitely a school of thought, I think, from sort of events and how you sell tickets, that's actually your effort is much better making the big even bigger. So making the games where it sells out, making those enormous, whilst at the same time putting slightly less effort into the West Hams, etc., but a lot of effort. And I'm kind of behind this, which is just make the big as you can. They could still be bigger. We sell out, but ultimately, in terms of the atmosphere, the activation around it, there's definitely a school of thought that says put all the money there. and then wait, as you say, for the rest to build up slightly more organically.
No, but I mean, I've not thought of it that way before, but I think that's a really nice point. And I think of like how I got into supporting Arsenal women more actively was when I first moved to London. They played the North London derby at the Emirates, so I went, had a good time, went to the Wolfsburg game. Obviously, the Wolfsburg game was a big moment in the development of this iteration of Arsenal women that like captured me completely. And then the next season they sold the kind of 5-pack bundle at the Emirates off the back of the Euros. So I thought, well, had a great time at the Watford game. Suddenly, let's buy the 5-pack bundle, and then you've got 5 games in a season. So if you take that thinking on, what Laura's saying, if they really ham up Chelsea, Spurs, Man City, and people think, I'm going to go watch that, they have a good time, they might then go to another game, and before they go, you know what, season tickets aren't that expensive. Why don't I get a season ticket for this season, and then the whole thing grows from there.
You have to give a reason to acquire in the first place.
100%.
I think it's completely natural to think the way that we acquire new fans is through the big occasions.
What's the Boreham Wood capacity?
I think it fluctuates
like 7.
because of the standing, but I think it's up to like 4,000.
Oh, that's it. Okay, that's mental.
Yeah.
How would you be happy with, like, in this period where we know that the Emirates is going to not sell as well for those smaller matches, would you be happy if we moved away from Boreham Wood and moved into like a Barnet?
Yeah. So I thought of this
which
before.
is like 10?
Yeah. I even thought like someone like Watford would have been good, or that might be a bit far away. But like, I ultimately don't think I've thought about this, and I ultimately don't think. But
still do the big ones at the Emirates.
Yeah. I think that could be a nice interim solution, but I almost don't think it's worth it because momentum is so strong with the Emirates. I think that ultimately we're not far away from a situation where every game could be played at the Emirates. I think the big thing that's stopping it now is the logistics of trying to manage that many games. We had the incident last season where the men and the women were playing on the same night, and the women's game had to get moved. And I think that is almost some of the issue rather than the kind of the capacity of it. And then to kind of find a new stadium when Boreham Wood's been Arsenal's home for so long might actually cause more disruption than it's maybe the kind of extra 10 to 15,000 people is actually worth in the kind of short run.
Yeah, I think some fans would find it probably upsetting.
Yeah, 100%.
If it was to be moved. But it is kind of a shame that we don't have that sort of in between, and you can still pack it out.
Yeah,
that would be good.
Because I will be interested to see how many tickets we'd actually sell against West Ham.
Definitely. Yeah.
Well, Renee Slagers has called them occasions. Okay, so she's quoted as saying, "We love these occasions." Just quickly, how are we feeling going into this, to use her words, block? I think
you guys really hate the block.
I really, it just jars. It reminds me of like double French on a Friday afternoon.
I'm used to the block.
Of course you are. Of course you are. I'm excited to see some football again. Obviously, I am a little bit nervous, especially as Rory, you've just said, in that kind of like we're getting very, very packed in, and the schedule is demanding on the players. I'm worried about injuries, but ultimately, I think we should feel very confident that we go into this important part of the season ready to bring some silverware home. Yeah,
I'm weirdly confident. Like, I mean, I'm the one who was getting nervous for Mansfield last week, and then producer Finn told me off about it after the show. But like, I generally am normally quite nervous, but I think that the last block was so good, and we had such big moments. Obviously, Champions Cup, beating Man City, beating Chelsea. It kind of, as we've all spoken about before, really reminded me how good a team we actually are, and it kind of makes me feel like we've got nothing really to fear with these few games. Like ultimately, the Chelsea game is the showpiece of this, right?
Yeah.
I think there's an argument to say that this might seem a bit strong. This could be the biggest Arsenal-Chelsea women's fixture we've ever had in the terms of like.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm not like, obviously I don't have huge historical knowledge of the ties kind of beyond the last 5, 6, 7 years, but as we've just talked about, where the women's game is now with the tension that's on it, and how important the Champions League is for both these sides, and the fact that Chelsea are desperate to not let us be the only team that have won one, and we are desperate to be the only team that have won one. For us to meet them at this stage in the competition it's good. It's really and good. It's fascinating and it's ginormous. But I think we've got nothing to fear because in the home game when we drew against them at the Emirates, other than the first 10 minutes where we were fucking shocking, we were the better team. And the weird refereeing decisions kind of for both teams made that a bit of a weird spectacle. And then we beat them at Stamford Bridge. And I don't think there's any reason why we shouldn't go into these games thinking, you know what, we can do that again.
Yeah. If there's not an amazing montage before this match.
Oh, come on.
I'm going to be extremely disappointed.
They'll be cooking it up right now. They'll be in there. They'll be working out what poem what slow-mos, that kind of thing. Lucy, do you feel the same as Rory in terms of we should go into this without any fear?
I think so, yeah. You know what the funny thing is like when you got asked the question, I was a bit fearful, but then after your little spiel, I was like, yeah, Rory, come on.
Yeah.
If you need that for the montage, I'll give you the number of my agent.
I'm ready to ride to the death now that you've just said that.
Going into battle. I think that has put some confidence in me. I believe so. I think I'm just sort of scarred from years gone by and Chelsea in general. But actually, if you look at historically previously, then there's no reason why we should fear the next period. But I think with the amount of games as well, I think that is kind of a newish challenge.
100%.
Yeah.
But I thought what Rachel said to you when you chatted in that excellent episode you did while we were away was really interesting, how she felt that this Rachel from Girls on the Ball and that front podcast felt that Arsenal was benefited from not having too long between games. They could kind of just not overthink things.
Just do.
And I can see some truth in that. And I wonder if, obviously we've got London City Lionesses and there'll be a week before West Ham, and then after that it's just bang, bang, bang. And I wonder if we can hopefully try getting a similar sort of pattern in this upcoming fixtures.
On that note, London City Lionesses versus Arsenal this Sunday. In the notes here, producer has said it will officially still be the morning when this game kicks off. Factually correct. But I think, again, another one where you're like, really? Does it have to be that early?
It's 11:55. I've just seen this. That is absurd. What a bizarre time.
I know. I tried to find out why it was 11:55 and not at least 12 o'clock. Like, I know it's only 5 minutes, but the fact that it's
the morning.
It feels like a dig. It feels like you're moaning about how early the kickoffs were before. How would you like this? It's outrageous. And I tried to look up if there was any reason why it was 55, not
like TV
12.
scheduling.
Well, there was nothing concrete. The only thing it was like to not clash with other games. So maybe there's like a 2 o'clock kickoff.
It's like 11:11, like 1155. Is it like code for something?
Oh, conspiracy theories.
Get my tinfoil hat.
The location of Win the Dog.
Well, we kick off as we say in the morning. We beat London City Lionesses 4-1 on the opening day of the season. Olivia Smith absolutely stole the show. Gosh, that feels like a long time ago.
Yeah,
that does feel like a long time ago. And London City Lionesses are currently 6th, and they've only won 2 out of 7 games in 2026. Lucy, what's your kind of assessment of them? Obviously, it's first season, very high expectations, a lot of press. Have they overperformed where you thought, or just about kind of bearing in mind they are new, what you expected?
I think there was a lot of expectation around them because of the amount of money that they spent and the amount of press that they had a great marketing campaign. They had a lot to talk about, and it was really exciting to see a club that wasn't attached to a Premier League club. So there was a lot of like buzz around them. Some people feel like they haven't performed as well because of all those things and because of the money that they've pumped in. I personally think their targets, realistic targets probably for their first season, is to steady the ship. So I don't think finishing in where they are currently is a bad result.
You think that's they have steadied the ship? 6th is kind of that's fine.
Yeah, and I know that they spent a lot of money on players, but equally you can have a team of stars and not gel and the characters not be right, and you probably aren't going to figure that out until the second season, probably. So I'm not that surprised. I reckon they'll kick on next season. I do think it will be quite different playing them this time round, potentially.
Different in the sense that they will have gelled more since that first day of the season.
I'd like to
like to face a slightly tougher test than the first time
I'd
round.
like to think they would have a little bit more like structure to their play and stuff, because they would have had a pretty short pre-season altogether. Saying that, they have only won 2 out of their last 7 games, so we'll see. But yeah, I don't think they're underperforming. I think they're doing what a new club should do in the WSL.
No, I agree, to be honest. And I think, like, ultimately, they're never, with all the money they spent, they were never going to win the WSL. Right? That would have been madness.
That would have been insane.
I think that would have been actually very bad for the WSL. I really do. I think when teams come in like this, as you say, Lucy, it's much more interesting to see the dynamics of a team over the course of a season who've been put together, rather than you can just...
They're like the One Direction of the WSL.
That's exactly what. Do you know
Well,
what?
didn't win at the beginning, but in the long
But
run,
ultimately,
Yeah, what
well,
artificially put
domination.
together, absolutely, and now
Yeah.
have fallen out,
Well,
and we've lost one of them.
we'll see. But
Yeah.
no, what I was going to say that is obviously they're not going to win on their first season. I think in an dream, everything goes perfectly. They sneak a European place, but even that was going to be difficult with the quality at the top of the league now. So you look at where they are now, which is kind of you've got the pack at the top, which you got Man City, the pack below them that we're in with Spurs, United, Chelsea, and then they're just below that with Brighton. Kind of, I know you can't really call it best of the rest because I feel like we're competing with best of the rest, but kind of best of the non-European teams is kind of what they're competing for. And I think that's kind of fine. First season in the league off the back of, spent a lot of money, but again, trying to adapt to all different things and put different players together. So I think that's kind of fine. In terms of what this means for us, it is like they're definitely going to be better than they were at the start of the season. But I've been trying to work out their season, and it's quite hard to be honest, but I think that other than Spurs, against the top teams, they have struggled generally.
Yeah.
And against the lower teams, they've picked up points along the way, which makes me hope that as us, one of the good teams, we should be able to
We should
put
have
them
too
away.
much quality. I think
so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not worried. I'm definitely not worried about the fixture. Maybe not about the early morning.
On Mother's Day as well.
I know.
Oh my gosh, of course.
It's disrespectful at this stage.
And a week after International Women's Day.
I know, right?
Wow.
You have to get up early to make your mum breakfast in bed.
Is that what you tend to do?
Yeah, well, my mum lives on the other end of the country, so that's long gone. That's in the past now.
Send her Mackies on delivery.
Yeah. No, there's an idea.
That'd be a great Mother's Day.
Yeah, no,
I
I'd
think
appreciate
my
that.
mum would love a kind of, I don't know, egg and bacon roll type thing and a coffee. That'd be fantastic. Just a quick one on Arsenal. So we're, as we discussed, likely to be without any of our Australian players as they're still away on international duty. Olivia Smith had that concussion before the break, but possibly coming back for this game, do we think?
We've not been told, but
Not heard anything about her.
Yeah.
I hope she has been at home. Again,
up.
feet up, playing The Sims.
far away from Emily Fox as possible.
Yeah, playing The Sims, maybe playing with some Barbies,
Yeah.
and is ready to hit the ground running. And also Beth Mead, currently out with a hairline shin fracture.
Yeah, concussions are a funny one because there's a protocol around them where it's always a minimum amount. I think it's like 3 weeks, but they're so weird. They can last months.
Yeah, you can get the sort of headaches and the kind of lack of vision and stuff
Yeah.
well
Yeah.
afterwards. So fingers
knows?
crossed
Yeah.
with Olivia Smith.
Yeah, it's an interesting one because I feel like we go into this and again, partly because it's early in the week and I'm sure Rennie Slagers will give us some injury news later in the week.
Should we talk about blocks again?
Yeah, she'll talk about blocks.
She's ready for the next block.
Yeah, both low, high, and the next block of fixtures.
block on a lump block on Olivia Smith's head after that clitoris. But I think I don't feel like I quite know what the team's going to look like. Again, Australian players are away. Olivia Smith may or may not be fit. Beth Mead's going to be out. It's going to be interesting to see what sort of team we can piece together. And I do wonder if this is a really important time for Barbie herself, Chloe Kelly, right? With Smith potentially being injured and Mead definitely being injured and Ford being away, we're going to be light in those attacking areas. Now, Kelly's been injured for a lot of the season, but over the last couple of weeks, come back into it, obviously played a little bit for England. This hopefully could be a really good time for her to come back into the team and be really important, particularly with all those other players missing.
Yeah, I'm assuming London City will have some players away as well, won't they?
Yeah, they have some Australian players, don't they?
Yeah, they have a couple.
So that's helpful. That's nice.
Yeah, and I think especially when there's always a break this long, that first 20 minutes is always a bit like, right, have we all remembered what we do here? You know, when you go on holiday and you have to log into your work computer. What is my password? What do I do as a job? There is an element of that, and the first 20 minutes, as we've said, is one before lunchtime. Absurd. And we are, they'll have had a week's training, but ultimately it is always a little bit sketchy in that first 20 minutes after a long break. But I think we should have way more quality than the London City Lionesses. Definitely. So we go on 2-0, nice and comfortable. Off we go into the next block.
A nice, easy work from home day. Get the emails sorted.
Absolutely, yeah.
Write out your to-do list for the next week.
Yeah. Put out small fires, but don't
think so.
overextend yourself.
I think so.
I was just doing some fact checking. There's one Australian player.
Okay. I just went for. I knew they definitely had one, but I was just went for they got a few. Yeah.
A handful. Fine.
Yeah.
As I said, work from home today. Don't exert yourself too much. There's bigger fish to fry. There's bigger fires to put out.
But also don't get caught playing The Sims.
Ouch. Well, on that note, guys, thank you thank you for having a full house.
I know, yeah.
For the first
Can we do
time.
this more often,
Yeah.
please?
Absolutely. And next time we'll actually have a game to reflect on as well,
Yeah.
which is fantastic.
That'd be nice.
And we will be back next Tuesday for another edition of About Arsenal Women after we've had our day working from home against the London City Lionesses. In the meantime, though, we'd love to hear your questions and comments in response to today's episode. Are you a Barbie fan? Which Arsenal player would you like to have a Barbie doll of? You can find us at Thing About Arsenal on Instagram, at About Arsenal Pod on X, or email us show@thingaboutarsenal.com. Now, over on the men's side, Jim and Johnny are back on Wednesday to bring you match reaction after Arsenal men versus Bayer Leverkusen in the Champions League. But don't forget to hit subscribe wherever you're watching and listening to make sure you never miss an episode from us. Rory, thank you.
Thank you.
Lucy, a pleasure.
Thank you.
We will see you guys next time.